Oh, the 80s, weren't they great? 1989 especially, Mark, a great year for building homes in Elkhart County. And this was a home that was built and had some brand new landscaping. I'm sure the homeowners are really pleased with it, but you know, advance that by 25 or 30 years, that landscaping becomes a little old. And today we're going to be talking about what you did to correct all of that, right?
Absolutely. And when I was invited out here to the property, actually, it was difficult walking up here to the front porch just because things were starting to...
Like a jungle.
It was like a jungle, yes. It was kind of moving in on you, so...
Well, you know, one of the keys to what Linton's does is being able to seamlessly make things look like they're new again. And you had some existing plants and trees to work around here, but the ones you brought in, Mark, I think this is really the beauty of what you've done. They look like they've been here a little while.
Well, thanks for noticing, and yes, that was the goal. We started out with some more mature trees and shrubs, and we can do that because we have our own nursery. And this side of the sidewalk, a lot of this was existing here, and we're working with plants that are approaching 30 years old. So wanted to bring in some nice size specimen plants, starting with this boxwood here. We've got a couple of pyramidal boxwoods which do a nice job of framing the entrance here.
Yeah.
They are in the evergreen family, so they're going to maintain this look 12 months out of the year, and they're going to be very easily to be kept pruned and not get too large, especially compared to what they had here before.
Now you brought in your own Linton's plants here, huh? Oh wait, Linton.
Yeah, back here on each side of the porch in the shade, we've got some Lenten roses, and also known as Christmas roses.
Okay,
and
not Linton, but Lenton.
Lenton,
Yeah, okay.
yes. And these are perennials that actually are winter blooming, and they bloom with a flower very similar to a rose, and they continue to bloom early into the spring. They do great in shaded conditions.
Very good. Well, what else do we have going on here, Mark?
Well, we're creating a nice layered look with height in the back, and then we step it down with the hydrangeas here.
Yep.
Craig, these are some of our repeat blooming hydrangeas, and unfortunately hydrangeas over the years have had kind of a bad reputation for not performing and blooming well. And that's been very frustrating to gardeners. But this is a variety that we started growing over 10 years ago called Endless Summer, and it is guaranteed to bloom nonstop all throughout the summertime up until the fall.
Wow. Barb and Rick Nelson are the homeowners, and Barb was telling us ahead of time this was one of her favorite parts of what you did, the hydrangeas.
Absolutely. And these will get to be about 4 feet in height and 4 feet in width, and they're going to continue to bloom all the way up until frost.
Wow. What about the choice of ground cover here, and what did you see when you first got here? Was it the same?
Well, that's an easy answer. We did have the same type of ground cover, but it was approaching 30 years old.
Okay.
And because we were keeping some of the existing landscape on the other side of the sidewalk, we wanted to continue with the washed river gravel. And quite honestly, there isn't anything that goes better with the stone front of the house. We've got the same color tones in the stone ground cover as what you see on the house.
Barb and Rick's dog watching the segment here today from inside the house.
Very cute.
You might not be able to see that, but the dog's watching everything we're doing out here. What are you hiding here, Mark? Come on.
Oh, wow. You know what? Yeah, this is one of our artificial boulders. We do have a utility here, and these fiberglass boulders are great for hiding all sorts of utilities and wellheads that people have sticking up in their landscape. So
now, again, seamless landscaping here. This flower bed was here when you arrived, right?
Absolutely. It's a raised planter, and this is something that they plant the annuals in every year. And what could look more spectacular than this here? And so that was something that we wanted to keep and work around.
Sure, and obviously keeping the window views open at all times, right?
You know, they're blessed with all the acreage here, and they want to be able to look out and see all the birds and the wildlife that kind of are attracted to the property here.
Yep. What else here, Mark?
Well, speaking of birds, well, we've got butterfly plants here.
Sure.
So birds, bees, and butterflies. We're going to have a lot of activity going on. We've got a combination of both dwarf purple and white butterfly bushes. And these are low and behold butterfly bushes. Very, very different than the common or old-fashioned butterfly bushes that got like 5-6 feet tall and 5-6 feet in width.
Real bushy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But these will max out at just a couple feet in height and about 3 feet in width. It provides a nice fragrance for the guests as well as the homeowners as they're walking up the sidewalk. And of course, the butterflies absolutely love them.
Yeah, we saw a few of those. Even a hummingbird coming in today, didn't we?
We did.
On your property.
Yes, yes.
Now, you've always talked about a favorite or two of yours, and this is one of them here, isn't it?
It is. I just love all the different Japanese maples, and we are growing over 30 different varieties of them.
Wow.
This happens to be one of our red lace leaf varieties, and Barb had a pretty strong opinion that she just didn't want anything to get too tall or too large.
Yeah.
Kind of went back to the previous landscape that there were some things that really hid the house. So we wanted a little bit of a height variation. We didn't want everything low and flat because we've got a two-story house behind us here.
Right.
But this Japanese maple is going to max out at about 6 feet in height. Craig, the beauty of this is these burgundy colored leaves, and maintains that color all spring, all summer, and up until they fall in the fall season.
And the nature of this tree, it's not real dense, so you can get a lot of views, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
very
So
cool.
we just wanted a little bit of height here to accent the corner.
Yeah, well, tell us more about what's going on around here.
Well, we always like to have a mix of deciduous and evergreen. Deciduous are the ones that lose their leaves. And so we've got some little dwarf evergreens here. These are some bright golden colored junipers. I love how the gold plays off the burgundy colored leaves. This will provide some interest late fall, winter, and early spring when the leaves are off the other plants.
I love the purple down here.
Well,
Isn't that
thank you.
great? You're still seeing some of that.
Yeah, we've got our purple veronica here. This is something that started blooming in the springtime, blooms all the way up until frost. It's a perennial that comes back year after year. And then we also have a low maintenance shrub rose here, which has been blooming all summer long.
What about one quick glance here toward the drive, Mark?
Well, we wanted to frame the corner of the house here. And again, we didn't want anything that gets too large. This is a slender Hinoki cypress, and I love the different shades of green here. We've got the chartreuse green and more of an emerald green. Very fluffy, very soft to the touch. Going to give us some height, some vertical height, but we don't want a lot of width. We want to protect that view and keep that open.
Yeah, very good. And then along here?
Well, we've got hydrangea here, and you're starting to see some fall coloration here just with the change in the temperatures.
Yep.
And this has been blooming nonstop the entire summertime and all the way up to the end of the fall season.
So you've really done a great job out here, Mark, adding some color to an existing landscape and in the process making the old look new again, right?
Absolutely. Probably the biggest challenge was marrying this new landscape in with the existing landscape. And one of the existing plantings is this large golden globe arborvitae here. And we thought we could probably get another 10 years worth of use out of that.
And again, when you talk about landscape design, you're shooting for 20, 25 years in that range, aren't you?
That's right. And even after 20 or 25 years, it's not a total redo. We like to walk around with the homeowner, kind of assess everything and see what still has life that can be extended.
Exactly. Well, it is a beautiful day in Goshen, Indiana, and I tell you, we met up with Barb and her husband is Rick, the Nelsons. They were so pleased with what your team did out here. Special kudos to Charlie, who heads up your landscape.
They shared kind words about him and previous work that he's done here on the property before.
Absolutely. Well, let's move now to Barb Nelson, and giving us an update on her property. Barb joins us now. Barb, good to see you. I love your property out here. It's so beautiful.
Thank you. It is our little piece of paradise.
And you've got a splash of color out here that Linton's has helped you with, correct?
Absolutely. As you can see, I love color.
Yes, you did.
And that's what we asked from Mark, and he did a wonderful job.
Now, Mark's team is very, very specialized in doing different things. And one of the things that the team has helped you with is your pond, correct?
Exactly. This is why we chose Linton's, because over the years I've had many companies come and go and say they're going to take care of my pond, my water feature, and then they disappear. So I found Charlie at Linton's, and he has just been a gem. So when we were going to renovate this landscaping that was quite old, Linton's was our first stop.
Wow. Now, this is the eastern edge, you tell me, of the Great Prairie. This is a beautiful piece of property out here, and the landscaping really just fits right in the middle of it all.
It really does. It's such a lovely area. We have lots of acreage, lots of wildlife, and we just enjoy it completely. But the landscaping was very old, and it was covering up the front of the home, and Mark just opened it up. Looks so much better.
What's your favorite one or two things out here, Barb?
My favorite two things are the two trees, the Japanese maple and the cypress. And Mark had to talk us into trees. We were afraid that we were going to cover up the windows, and we didn't want to do that. And he was right on the money.
Wow. So again, a trust factor.
Trust,
Yeah.
trust, yeah, because I can't visualize, and I had to trust that he knew what he was talking about, and he really does.
Well, let's bring Mark on. I think he's got a little surprise here for you, Barb.
Oh, really? You didn't need to do that. That is just gorgeous.
Well,
Oh,
Barbara,
my goodness.
we've enjoyed working for both you and your husband, and also appreciate this opportunity to share your new landscaping with all the viewers out there.
Thank you so much, Mark. We really love it. Really
Thank you.
love it.
Barb, great meeting you, and keep up the good work out here. You've done a wonderful job, and I'm sure Linton's is very happy with being able to be a part of it.
Well, they should be very proud of their work.
Yes.
It is gorgeous.
Very good, Barb. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've got much
Mark.
more coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.